Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. Today I'm going to show you how to cook up this delicious looking Texas style barbecue smoked turkey breast. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, now before we get started, let's talk turkey. When you are doing turkey like this, there's a couple things you want to look for. So the first thing is you want to get a boneless breast. Now, you can find bone-in breast, that's definitely possible. For this, we really don't want it, we just want boneless. Skinless, it's fine. We're going to take the skin off anyway, as you can see I'm doing right now. Now, as far as sizing for turkey, you want to get the biggest one possible. This is about 3.5 pounds. If I could find a bigger one, I probably would have gotten a bigger one. Because the bigger the turkey breast, the longer it's going to sit in that smoke and pull on some more of that smoke flavor. So really, we're looking for a larger bird. Boom. Now the other thing that's really important when you are doing turkey is you need to look on the package itself and determine if it has been brined or not. Now when you buy turkey, quite often they're going to be pre-brined, which means that they're sitting in a wet bath, and so you don't want to add salt to them. In some cases you might actually want to take salt out of them. You can do that pretty well by soaking them in water. But what you really want is to get a non-brined turkey, which is what this was. Now once you get a non-brined turkey, it's pretty easy. You're going to brine it. But I like to buy it non-brine so I can do it myself because I know I can dial in the salt. What I do for a brine is I'll take a cup of water to a tablespoon of kosher salt, mix it all together, completely submerge the bird, and leave it in there for about 24 hours, which is what I did last night. So this is now good to go. Once you got your bird brined, you want to do what I did here and take off the skin. We're not going to use the skin. We want to get, this bird with our nice rub. And the way we're cooking it, the skin is not going to get crispy, so it probably won't be that good anyway. Now that we've got our bird done, you could take off some of this membrane here, but it's really not necessary. It'll come off eventually. What we're going to do is we're going to get a rub on. For a Texas style turkey, it's pretty easy. First step was to get the salt on there. Since we brined it, we don't need to worry about putting salt on, so we're going to give it a good coating of coarse black pepper and follow it up with some garlic. Some people put paprika on. I'm not one of them, but I do like the color of the paprika. You could absolutely add some on right now. But the most important thing here, guys, is to get that good coating of black pepper, because that's really going to help develop a nice bark, and it's going to give it that Texas-style taste that we're looking for. And then I never say no to garlic powder, because garlic powder is amazing. And then make sure you get both sides. Now, what you want to do is get it into nice one big lump like this, because we want it to cook together, which means when we cut it, we'll get nice slices like that. So we want to get it in a big lump, and that's how it's actually going to go onto our smoker. And that's perfect. So now what I want to do is get out there and get my Weber kettle ready for some smoking. Smoker is up to my temperature of 255 degrees. Time to get this turkey on. So I am going to place our little bird just like so. Basically, you just want to get it kind of put in that low format because we want to slice it, right? So you don't want to have it, filleted out like that. You want to have it in a nice big bowl. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my smoker in that 250 to 275 range, which is where I do all of my smoking on the kettle. And I'm just going to get some wood on here. As far as timing, we're really going to look for a couple of hours. I'm thinking, honestly, maybe 3 or 4 hours. Just monitoring temperature. We don't want it to get above, probably about 145 is the point where we're going to wrap it in our next step. But now just close her up. Let her run, and keep adding wood to get some smoke on there. As far as smoke, guys, post oak is the Texas way, but you can do fruit wood. You can do whatever you want here. I'm actually running with some mixture of post oak, and I'll probably put some apple on there as well. A little over 2 hours, and we are hitting that 150, 153 degree mark. It's time to take this off, and we're going to give it a nice wrap. All right, now unfortunately, this is probably the point where I'm going to burst a couple of bubbles here, guys. If you were under the illusion that turkey was probably the healthy option at a barbecue restaurant, well, it's not really the case, because while it is a turkey and not a super fatty cut of beef, it's almost always a whole bunch of butter. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a half stick of butter on one side and a half stick on the other. This is actually a quarter stick because this is a little bit smaller of a turkey breast, and I'm just going to wrap it up completely. And this is going to go back onto my smoker until we hit an internal temperature of about 165. That's going to give it enough time for all that butter to get in there and be nice and good. And then we can just let it rest But don't throw away the butter. We're probably going to use that to pour back on right before we eat it. But at this point, back onto the smoker, let it melt and all that butter get into the meat, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. All right, time to see how we did. Like I said before, save all this delicious buttery sauce because we're going to use that to pour on when we are actually going to eat it. I'm just going to mix it in there a little bit. Now let's look at the cut. When you're cutting these guys, we want to do, I don't know, like a ½ inch kind of cuts. Oh, the smell is just incredible. It definitely looks a little bit pink, guys, but that is not because it's undercooked. That is because we put smoke in there. Oof, that looks really good to me. Alrighty, it's about that time to eat this delicious looking turkey breast, guys. Now, just for a quick recap, we wet brine this for about 24 hours. Ratio that I use is 1 tablespoon of kosher salt to a cup of water. Leave it in there overnight, that's fine. I usually do about 24 hours, to be honest. Then we just coated her down with black pepper and garlic powder and then tossed it onto our smoker. In this case, I used my Weber kettle and smoked it about 250 degrees. That took about 2.5 hours to get to a point where I was ready to wrap it. And then we wrapped it in a whole bunch of butter, tossed it back on, and just let it go until about 165 to let all that butter kind of just melt into the meat. Now I've saved all that delicious butter that's gonna go on top when we eat it, but here's what we're working with, guys. I mean, it looks delicious. It's gonna be a really good turkey breast. It smells incredible. I'm gonna dip it in some of this butter right now. It's time to give it the old-fashioned chomp. Guys, that is about perfect. It's got that really good peppery crust. It's got some garlic on there. The butter is obviously something that's gonna add a lot of flavor. And the turkey's got such a great level of salinity to it from that wet brine. It's still super juicy. Honestly, there's a reason why this is one of the most popular dishes at barbecue restaurants, because it is so good. Now, like I said before, it's definitely not the healthiest thing with the amount of butter we're tossing on here, but it's barbecue, who the hell cares? It's a really, really good meal, guys. And if you can find a big boneless turkey breast, absolutely give it a try. It's not super difficult, and it's something you can absolutely cook up on your own without really having to do too much extra stuff, and it cooks pretty quickly. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've never done turkey before, absolutely give it a try. Now, what I would love to know from you guys down below, do you guys buy turkey or chicken at a barbecue restaurant, or do you stick with your different ribs, your briskets, your pulled pork? For me, it's really what I'm feeling at the time, and I'm not opposed to getting a half chicken or a thing of brisket. It really depends on what I'm looking for that particular day. But most importantly, guys, cook some absolutely fantastic, whether that's turkey or brisket or just about anything. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.